We spoke to several people back then who were frustrated. They claimed to be victims of the Franklin brothers scams, and they all wanted to know why Rick and Gary weren't in prison for allegedly ripping people off repeatedly. Now, turns out police have been investigating their stolen property dealings for over a year, and now the Franklins and an accomplice are behind bars.
If I was doing something illegal or against the law, I would think the police would be here.
That's what Rick Franklin had to say to us back in April when we confronted him about several residents' allegations that he and his brother Gary were ripping them off.
I would talk to anybody you get. If you get somebody that says, I've got a complaint with Rick Franklin, I will talk to him.
Turns out multiple people had complaints. In a federal indictment filed last week, Rick, Gary, and an accomplice named Richard Maxson are accused of stealing trucks and construction equipment and trying to sell them. As part of the elaborate scheme, they bought Chinese trailers and used those titles and VIN numbers on the stolen property, making it seem legitimate.
We checked the title. It came up as clear, so I thought, let's set up a time to go meet and get it.
Earlier this year, Jason Sivany drove all the way from Minnesota to pick up a trailer from the Franklins. Shortly after he got home, he found out it was stolen.
This guy and his brother have been in and out of jail since 1995. I do know the trailer that I bought was stolen from Michigan. So I'm just wondering how the heck these guys are still on the street.
It's a question many folks have been asking about the Franklins for years. And now they're left wondering, will these federal charges actually keep them behind bars? Now, we've of course told you before about Gary and Rick's criminal histories. They're quite lengthy. Back in the 90s, Gary was convicted of several home improvement and landscaping scams, and Rick pleaded guilty in 2004 to running a very large stolen property ring from South Bend to Kentucky. So they have that long history, and at this point it appears they aren't changing their ways. They've been interviewing witnesses all night to try and figure that out. There is a second crime scene, one block east of where this toddler was killed. Now they're working to determine if both of those incidents are connected. And it's a situation the entire community cannot believe.
He was always smiling. He was happy, always playing, running around, just with a big smile on his face all the time.
John Swovlin Jr. was just 2 years old.
He's young. He had his whole life to live.
He was playing with his older sister in the front of their aunt's home on Camp Howe Street when police say someone fired shots, abruptly ending the toddler's short life.
Gangbangers want to shoot at each other, okay, that's still not right. But when you have a little 2-year-old kid on a sunny day playing outside in front of his house and he can't even play out there without fear of a drive-by shooter killing him, it's ridiculous.
Metro Homicide is trying to determine if the shooting is related to another incident just one block east. No one was injured there, but police did find evidence of gunfire.
Ballistics will tell us a lot more. That's going to take us a little bit of time.
It could also take a bit of time to find out who's responsible for a crime that's shaken the entire community.
To shoot a 2-year-old is to me, it's not human. It's just wrong, just plain wrong.
It's kind of hard to say, but I think that what happened to the baby needs to happen to them. I mean, it's bad. They shouldn't. It's a baby. It shouldn't have happened this way.
Metro Homicide took several people in for questioning tonight, including the baby's parents, trying to figure out more about what happened. They have no suspects in custody at this time. Family members tell us that the boy's mother is 23 years old and expecting another child next month. Absolutely heartbreaking for this family and the entire community.
Unbelievable.
In law enforcement training, they say one man on horse is worth 15 on foot.
It's a lot easier on horseback. You're up high, you can see through the trees.
Members of the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Posse spent hours Thursday night meticulously weaving their way through cornfields, looking for any sign of 91-year-old Nandi's Tavernier.
We're looking for entry points into a cornfield, footprints, anything we could find.
It's very time consuming, but the whole point is take your time because the littlest detail is the thing that gets you success.
The small detail that led to success came just as the search was wrapping up Thursday night. 3 riders were checking one last area near Jackson Road when they noticed a shoe print, leading one officer to get down and start searching on foot.
I was going to go check down the cornfield a little ways, heard some branches cracking, just kind of made my way through. Then all of a sudden I turn around and there she was.
Tavernier was confused and dehydrated, but finally safe.
Oh, it was a, amazing feeling. You expect the worst, you hope for the best. You don't know what you're going to come across, and just to find her after 19 hours, walking. She was up and walking around. It was a really amazing feeling. Felt like we did our job.
A job the sheriff's posse isn't paid to do, but one they volunteer for. And Thursday night, police say their selfless service may have helped to save a life.
I just can't say enough about these guys, these men and women. They do a fantastic job.
Without the posse, things may have turned out differently last